Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Sam here and I'm back with another weekly property finance video. Now, have you ever heard the term exchange with delayed completion? It's a great strategy that a lot of investors employ, but how do you fund them? Want to know how? Stick around. Property is about patience. Hey, what's up guys? Thanks so much for sticking around. Now, if you haven't already, please hit on the subscribe button underneath the video and also just tap on that little bell because it notifies you when these videos come out. So if you like in this one, hopefully you're gonna enjoy any future videos that I come up with. Now, before the little break, I promised you that I was going to go through how to fund an exchange with delayed completion. And I'll be giving you a number of little tips on how to do this. But let's start off by actually discussing what this is. Now, an exchange with delayed completion effectively is when you buy a property that is in need of renovation, and effectively, you want to get that renovation done before you actually purchase the property, before you actually buy the property. Now, what that means is that you are, so number one, you agree a purchase price based on what the current value of the property is. The one that needs renovation, you're going to pay stamp duty on that amount. Obviously, it's a lower amount anyway. But what you're going to do is you're going to exchange on it. You're committed to buying it. You exchange on it. And then you get access, you arrange for that to happen legally, to get access, your builders can go in and you can renovate the property from start to finish and make it absolutely fantastic. And then what you do is you complete on it and you either, in fact, I must admit, most people tend to sell these properties on to make profit, but some of them might want to refinance it at that point to take some cash out, but effectively you then buy when you complete, the property is ready to go, so you can sell it straight away. Now, some of the main benefits of this is that if you're taking out finance, you're not eating into that time, spending money on the finance during the period of renovation. So if you're taking out a bridge, for example, to buy a property that's unmortgageable, you can actually you're having to pay for every month that you have that bridging loan. In this instance, that doesn't happen. So your cost of funds actually reduces greatly, which is really, really fantastic. Now, you might be thinking about this though and going, well, hang on a second, Sam, how are we going to fund this? Because we don't actually own the property. We exchange on it, then we're going to do all the work, but we don't actually own the property till we complete and the work's done. So how does this work? Well, the trick is that we will use bridging finance to purchase the property. But you are right, we're not actually going to take out the finance until we own the property. So you do need to find the funds to pay for the work yourself. So this might either be through refinancing another property to release some equity, through savings or income that you've generated from your business or property, or just savings in general, or it could be an angel investor potentially. So somebody that's lent you the cash, an investor that you're going to give a fixed rate of return on. So you exchange, you go in, you do all the work, and then what we do is we find a bridging lender that is happy to actually base the loan that they're going to offer you on what the open market value of the property. Now, don't forget, we have actually just increased the value of the property. So just say, for example, you were buying the property at £75,000. I'm using these figures to make it easy for me to work out. But say you're buying it at 75,000. You do some work to it and you increase the value to 100,000. Now, if we then start arranging the bridge and the valuer goes round once the work has been completed and then value the property at £100,000, if they're willing to lend you 75%, for example, that's 100% of the purchase price. So you don't need to put any money in. Now, a little bit of a sort of a note here. A lot of lenders like to see some sort of skin in the game. So they might limit it to 85 or 90% of the purchase price, but you need to, you're having to put less money in basically. And as I said, we're then that bridge is only going to start when you actually complete on the purchase, which means if you're going to then sell that property for profit, you only need to pay for the number of months it takes to sell the property. So that might be 2 months, as opposed to 2 months plus the time it took you to do the work, which could be 6 months, 7 months in total. So the amount that you're actually saving on that in terms of monthly interest is going to be fantastic, and it's going to have a really, really good impact positively on your profit margins at the end of the day. So it's a really, really good way of doing this. And do you know what as well? It actually gives you a little bit of power to offer a slightly better price for a prospective vendor. If they're limiting themselves to people that can only go way below the asking price, if you offer a little bit closer to it, but you give them this option for this exchange with delay completion, the difference that you're making up in terms of the difference in the offer that you're putting forward, that could be the difference in what you're saving in terms of the cost of the funds, which obviously means that you find yourself in a nice win-win situation, which is really, really awesome. So just as a quick summary then, exchange with delayed completion is where you'll agree a purchase price and exchange on that basis. You'll then be granted access to go in and complete any work and modernisation that you need to do to the property before we actually get a valuer to go out and value the property, and then we get a bridging lender to lend on the open market value of the property there and then, which could end up being somewhere between 85 and 100% of the purchase price, which means you then can go and sell the property on at a profit without having to pay for a huge amount of number of months of bridging finance. So look, I hope you found this interesting. If you've got any questions on this subject, pop them in the comments below. I'm really, really keen to hear about anyone that's had any issues with this, anyone that's gone through this process before and has found it useful, or anyone that just is thinking about this but has got further questions on how this finance is actually arranged. I am going to be watching the comments like a hawk, and I'll come back to you as quickly as I possibly can. Now, if you really aren't comfortable leaving a comment, don't worry. You can send me a direct message on Instagram at the Sam Norris. That's at the Sam SAM Norris NORRIS. Go and follow me on Instagram. Ping me a direct message. Ask me any questions you got, and I'll be more than happy to help. And don't forget, twice a week on when do we put them out now? They're Mondays and Thursdays. The Game of Loans podcast. There are links in the show notes below for you to be able to go and listen to. We're up to 55 episodes of the Game of Loans podcast now. We've got some insane guests on there. Property investors, incredible business people, marketeers. We cover pretty much everything that you need to know in terms of becoming a property investor, taking your business to the next level. There's some fantastic episodes on there. If you do have a favorite episode, drop me a message on my Instagram and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But for now, I really, really hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, I will wish you well, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers, guys. Bye.